For this question, you're either going to need R that you downloaded and installed onto your computer, or the online R console. I'm going to demonstrate using the online R console, but it's going to be exactly the same if you downloaded and installed R onto your computer. Here's the online R console. I'm going to separate this window so it's easier for me to demonstrate. So for this problem, we're going to talk about how to enter data into R and then use R to find the minimum, the maximum, the mean, the median, and to create a histogram. To enter data into R, we're going to first pick a name for data. So preferably, we're going to pick a name that matches our data. Part A says, Stat 300 students were asked, what is your height in inches? So this is height data. I'm going to choose height as my name. So height. And then you're going to type equals C parentheses. And then between these parentheses, you're going to type in the data, separated by commas. But for this problem, we're not going to type in the data by hand. We're actually going to cut and paste the data in between these parentheses. So going back to the lab here, click on the height data button. You should get a pop-up window that looks like this. And we're going to copy and paste this data between those parentheses. So first, you're going to highlight this line. I think the easy way to highlight is just to double click. Okay, and then copy and paste. So I'm going to do it the long way by going to my menu, copy, and then we'll go to R. Between the parentheses, we're going to paste. So edit, paste. And then we'll hit enter. If you don't have a menu, I think what you can do is you can, if you're on a PC, right click, copy, and then go over to R, you're gonna right click and paste. Or there's keyboard shortcuts on a Mac. It's Command C to copy, and then Command V to paste. On a PC, it's Control C to copy, and then Control V to paste. All right, so once you have the data pasted between the parentheses and you hit enter, don't worry about these weird characters here. Here we're going to find the minimum, the maximum, the mean, and the median. To find the minimum, the command is going to be min, M-I-N, parentheses, and then the name of your data. So here, the name of our data is height, so we'll type in height, and that's the minimum. To find a maximum, the command is max, parentheses, and then the name of the data. So height again. To find the mean, M-E-A-N, parentheses, height. To find the median, M-E-D-I-A-N, parentheses, height. And then you'll type in these answers in these boxes. For the mean, if you have to round to 3 decimal places. And then to make a histogram, the command is going to be hist, H-I-S-T, parentheses, name of the data. And that's the histogram. So I'm actually going to go back and add something onto this. So notice that we have the bars, but it's kind of hard to see how high the bars are because there's no labeling on the bars. I'm going to go back to our console and type in HIST, height, comma, and then to get the labeling on the bars, the command is labels, L-A-B-E-L-S, equal capital T. So make sure you spell labels correctly and make sure it's a capital T. And there is our new histogram with the labeling. Okay, and then one of the questions I asked is to interpret one of the bars. Right. So for example, this 20. We're talking about students here. So there are 20 students. What's special about these 20 students? These 20 students are between 55 and 60. 55 and 60 what? This is height, right, in inches. So there's 20 students who are between 55 and 60 inches in height. And actually, I think the question asks for the highest bar. So you'll be interpreting the 69. Okay, so let me do another part here. I'm going to do part D with you. Okay, part D. Stat 300 students were asked how many units they're taking this semester. So now going back, We're going to go back to the R console. So make sure when you type in the command, you type it into the R console side and not the left side. Okay, so we're going to pick a name for data. Here we're talking about units, so let's call it units. So units equals C parentheses. And now I'm going to go back and click on the units data, and we'll copy and paste this. So double click, okay, copy, edit copy, go back to R between the parentheses, edit paste. Okay, hit enter. And then we need to find the minimum, the maximum, the mean, the median, and then make a histogram. So for example, to find the minimum, the command is min, M-I-N, parentheses, the name of the data, in this case is units. The max, M-A-X, units. The mean, M-E-A-N, units. And then the median, M-E-D-I-A-N, units. And then to make a histogram, command is HIST, parentheses, units. And then I'll add on the labels, L-A-B-E-L-S equals capital T. And there is my histogram. So I want to talk about this one because R doesn't always label all of the numbers on the x-axis. So this is 10, but what is this? What is this other edge of the bar? So it's not labeled in R. So you have to figure out how R is counting. Okay, so ignore any numbers that are in the middle of the bars. For example, this 5 and this 15. Ignore those. Okay, those aren't the ones you want. You want the ones that are on the edges of the bar. So this 10, this missing one, and these. Okay, so you have to try to figure out what R is counting by. So this is 10. Is it counting by 3? If it's counting by 3, then this is 10. Next will be 13. Next will be 16. But that's wrong, right? Because 15 is right here, so this can't be 16. It's not counting by 3s. What is it counting by? Is it counting by 2s? Let's try. This is 10. This will be 12. This will be 14, 16, 18, 20. So 2s work. So this is counting by 2s. So this is 10, which means this right here would be 8. Then the next to the left would be 6. Okay? So R is going to count by some nice numbers. It's usually either by 2s, by 5s, by 10s, by 100s. So for this one, if I'm asking for interpreting this 7, right, what would you say? So this 7 means there are 7 students. And what's special about these 7 students? We said this was 6 and this was 8. So this is units that they're taking. So there are 7 students who are taking between 6 and 8 units this semester. Okay, so the actual question on the lab is asking you to interpret the highest bar. So you actually will be interpreting the 41. And that's how you do histograms in R.